Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the Weekly DLC. I'm one of your hosts named Karosh. Followed... What?
Yeah.
Joined always by my co-host Daniel Vargas
Yeah.
and Daniel Jang.
For the glory of mankind.
I just stumbled. Don't worry about it. We're the Weekly DLC. We come to you each and every week from podcasting services of your choice. We sit around a table like this. We have some fun discussions. Sometimes we have a brain fart or two. Bear with us. It's part of the show. We plan it.
It's not planned.
They don't need to know. We talk about nerdy stuff, comics, games, movies, kind of everything between that. And we have fun. We hope you have fun. This is episode 130. Let's get right to it.
Let's just run into it.
Let's just... I forgot who's going. Who's going first? This one right over here. Talk to me. What's your topic?
I recently, 2 weeks ago, came back from Comic-Con. I picked up a comic book called Ice Cream Man.
No way.
And there's an issue in there that I think pushed the structure boundaries of comic storytelling. So I want you guys to give 3 examples in media. It could be music, movies, TV shows, books, where you read or watch, consume something and you're like, damn, that is pushing a boundary.
I feel like the ones that have don't really push boundaries. Hey, but we'll see.
It's all about perspective.
But I need to know yours.
I want to kind of
so I can get a baseline of how much
describe what is Ice Cream Maker about and what was.
Well, Ice Cream Man is like a horror anthology. It's like Twilight Zone. Every episode is pretty much its own thing, but there's always an Ice Cream Man, and he's very evil. And there's a good guy.
So there's a link to all of them with that Ice Cream Man.
Kind of, not really.
Not necessarily to the story, but there's always.
There's just a long continuing story about this Ice Cream Man getting hunted by, I think, a good guy. I think per se, very gunslinger-esque. Okay. The Ice Cream Man is evil, and there's a gunslinger, which seems super copied. But so in the Ice Cream Man comic, there are pretty much no words in the whole issue. It's
the one that you're talking about.
Yeah. So it's Neapolitan. So there's a yellow panel, red panel, and a dark blue panel. But they try to make it a 3-flavored ice cream. And when you read it, it tells a story about a guy and 3 alternate universes.
And each color panel is its own universe.
Each color panel is its own universe. And the way you read it is pretty trippy. I mean, he said you could read it any way possible. The way he intended it was each page you read one line, middle, and bottom. I read it first line.
Next page.
Yeah, all the way to the end. Oh. Second line to the end. Third line to the end. I was like, dude, this is really...
And it worked either way?
I mean, he said that works too.
Wow.
And I was like, I had to reread it again because it kind of parallels.
Sure.
And I was just like, damn, this is breaking my mind. This is I feel like comics does a lot of weird stuff like that. I don't think you can really... But I have an example for books, but dude, comics is the only one where Watchmen... The Rorschach, it's pretty much mirrored like a Rorschach.
That one up issue.
So, that's an example.
That is another good one. It didn't. I feel like because it had been talked about, a lot of the ones that I'm like, it's already been talked about, don't resonate with me as much because I'm like, oh, I'm expecting it. But when a moment happens and you're like, it's hitting you. You're this realization of what is going on? My mind, what I expected the framework of all this to be, just starts changing. I think I'll briefly go into one of my favorite ones. There's an artist that I think a lot of the comic book ones, they go heavily on how good or how talented of an artist they are working with, the writer is working with, but they're also working with them and really emphasizing their skills. So one of them was J.H. Williams III. He's a very cool comic book artist. I don't know if he still does comic books, but maybe he does just covers. But he was mostly known for doing really vibrant, really eccentric covers, and then he did a handful of comics. And one of the runs of comics that he did several issues of was Batwoman. And the first time I was really introduced to him, but was prior to that, it was International Batman. It was a part of a Grant Morrison story. And of course, Grant Morrison's this already kind of wacky, kind of eccentric. He plays with weird ideas, or he makes simple ideas very weird and grand. And the story was all these different Batman of different countries. It's like an organization of Batman. They've taken the idea of Batman. They're like, I'm going to be a Batman of Spain. I'm going to be a Batman of Paris. I'm going to be a Batman of England and all these things. But it was like a murder mystery because they're like, we've all been invited to the island to like have a meeting, but it's like, who invited us? Like, I thought you did. And like slowly, one by one, each of them are getting picked off. And the way the art transitions between each panel, it's like they're showing action by like throwing batarangs, but within the batarang is another panel, and then the visual of the explosion is another panel, and it's like I was like, I'm gonna try and just not read any of the words. And I still was able to follow a lot of the dynamic movement that he had put into those pages. I was like, this is like messing with me. Like just what is and isn't a thing you can mess with a comic to convey a story. And that really blew my mind, I think, in a somewhat similar fashion that you're describing.
With you guys talking about it, I realized that
Closer to Mike.
I want to choose a different thing. And I'm trying to remember the name of the game. So I'm trying to pull it up here real quick. It was called Trin or Trine. It was where
Trine?
Yeah,
the
like,
3-player one?
No. It's your you can reverse time in the game. It's like an indie game.
Braid?
Oh,
yeah,
Braid.
Braid. So that one is one I want to bring up because it was like you play the whole game, or like you play the beginning. It's a normal game. Like you're going from point A to point B on that stage. And then it completely reverses everything. And then from there, it's just everything starts happening where it's like when you move, time moves. And so like when you try to get to a point, whatever is supposed to kill you gets to that same point at the same time. So you can't get there normally. You have to do something different. There's ones where you have to like reverse time to like get stuck on something to be able to go forward.
Did you beat it?
Yeah, I've beaten the game. So like the whole concept is you're doing everything differently. And the ultimate thing is you're trying to get to a princess. And when you finally like get to the end, you realize like you're not the shining prince that's saving the princess. You're some creep who's been stalking the princess this whole time, and she's been trying to get away from you this whole time. So I thought it was like it's a really cool concept, and then, like it shows it through the fact that like all these different puzzles are not straightforward. So like there's something going on. And so, like, there's hints throughout the whole game as you're playing it, and it just, I don't know, it turned everything on its head for me, like when I played this game. So it was a really good idea, and I loved it. So that's one where I thought like kind of changed the game for me.
My second example is a person a lot of people hate, Kanye West. Production-wise, hate him or love him. Like I'm gonna bring up My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy, like. So usually a normal song has a regular like chord, like tempo and like beat. I'm gonna call it a beat, but he would switch it up. Like I've never heard of a rap song where he would just totally like. There's another song called On Site on Yeezus where it's like an industrial type of beat, very minimalistic, and he puts a soul sample. Like the song stops and he puts a soul sample, and then he puts it back to the original beat, and I just think. Music nerds, you're gonna have to like correct me if I'm wrong. I think the first song to like change beats like that is Bohemian Rhapsody by Queen. I may be wrong, where it's just like the song's not the beat changes.
Yeah.
So yeah, Kanye West.
The first was that an album you mentioned?
My Beautiful Dark Twisted is his album. He has a couple songs where he switches the beats.
Okay. Interesting. Yeah, he does seem like a very like just music like just if I look at him as an artist, very interesting. It's crazy though when your art is that like bold and interesting and like he's such a well famed for his music, but his personality is like it's almost like two different Kanyes and they're both equally known. It's like he's competing against himself. It's kind of weird. But for me, I would actually say it's a game that you're playing right now. Near Automata. That game messed with me in not even the deepest way. It was just on the way that it handles what it means to have a playthrough. Like the idea of a playthrough to me, like we've talked about, like multiple playthroughs are required, but everyone's like, man, I gotta play through the same. Like to me, I was like, I gotta play through the same game, and it's like, no.
Someone told me there's 26 endings.
To be fair, the 26 endings is like a title, but like one of the endings is literally like, you know, your chips in the game.
Mhm.
You're like an AI robot kind of person, and you have chipsets, and one of the chips is your like OS. If you can, it doesn't block you from taking out. You can take out, and the game shuts off. Game over. Ending. So some of the endings are just as simple as that.
I almost self-destructed because of a viewer.
You should
I
have.
was like, "What is this?" Oh,
Just do it.
no.
It doesn't like remove your save file or anything, but
Yeah, you just restart.
Oh,
the-
yeah. Oh, okay, I'll talk about it.
but like the idea of what that like everyone was saying playthrough, and I had a conception of that, and then or not conception of a perception of what that
Yeah.
meant, and then going through it a second time and so on, and third and stuff, and seeing what was really meant and what was really done with those playthroughs and how they aren't what you expect. It was really cool to see like that being done with the gaming medium of like, I know Kojima, Hideo Kojima, the guy that did Metal Gear Solid and the upcoming Death Stranding, he's talking about like in his upcoming game Death Stranding that game over is so consistently meant like that's when you stop playing, reset. But he's like, I want to make that an actual part of the game, and I'm like, that's an interesting thing. Like it's breaking the mold, and like just him bringing up that idea. I'm like, what else could you like you adjust like with what or the constraints that aren't constraints? We've just like they're tropes that we're like that's just how games are. Like there's a start button. There's this. It's really interesting what like video game developers are doing with the medium.
Mine is going to be a movie, 2001: Space Odyssey.
Oh,
I think like movie-wise, like I feel like it changed the game for cinematography. Like it's just there's so many shots where it's like it doesn't need anyone speaking. Like it just needs to have this shot, like for you to understand what's going on. You know, there's the whole beginning scene where you see the monkeys with the giant stone thing.
The
you know?
tablet.
Yeah, the tablet. There's points where you just see like I forget her name, the robot chick.
Hal?
Well, she's something 9000. Is it
Yeah,
Hal 9000?
Hal 9000.
It's just like it shows her red eye glowing, and you're just like, you know, like it means something. Like
is there
she's
thought
angry,
behind
like,
there?
exactly.
Or is there something
You know,
like
it's allowing you to think of something. Like, is she angry, or is she thinking? Like
you're inferring a lot of things.
exactly like what's happening. So there's a lot of moments where like it doesn't say much, and then you're kind of filling in the gaps in there, you know. So then at the end of the movie, someone can come up with a different concept of what happened, like why this turned into this reason or why this turned into that reason, kind of thing. So I think yeah, cinematography wise, like that movie did a lot for movies in the future. For you know, a lot of people kind of tried using that in theirs, and now we have, you know, some great movies and stuff. So.
Third example, you mentioned him, Kojima Hentai, Tensai, genius.
Senpai.
More towards Metal Gear Solid 1 and 2, because 3, 4, I've never played 5. They don't do the weird stuff. Like 1, for example, you unplug the controller of your PlayStation, switch it to port 2 so he can't read your mind. Like, how the hell, like, who thinks of that? Like, and in the back of the CD case, there's a codec for Meryl, because the hints are there. Like, it's just like in plain sight, but they never tell you. Like, oh, you can just call Meryl and she can help you out.
It's like this whole experience, and like you just take for granted certain things are just like not part of it. And he's like, no.
And kind of like in vein of you were talking about Nier, like there's this that I'm beautiful, boss. It reminded me of Metal Gear Solid 2, because there's a situation that kind of happens like that, where it's a game over screen, but it's not. You're still playing, and then the game screen is like this small, and you're still playing. And it's just like, what the heck? What does Kojima do? I thought it was game over. It's like, so little things like that. He's just pushing the boundaries of what is a game and what is art.
When is it over?
Which is why I'm excited for Death Stranding.
We're in a simulation.
To see what he does, dude.
I'm wondering, yeah, how like it's like the way Death Stranding is shaping and with the way people are speculating about it makes me think in a little bit of like how people are like, man, when Lost ends, it's gonna end. Like these things are gonna get answered. Like some people were like, it's never gonna. And I'm like, I'm hoping, like, I feel like he's conscious enough to like know what he's delivering on, what
Yeah.
expectations and how high to get people hyped and not. but like I'm wondering at what point does it take a life of its own, and just people are just like,
And
this
it's true. Like if you compare it to other like the Metal Gear Solid games, he never hyped up these moments. Like these are just like moments that happen. Like the Mantis or whatever his name is.
Psycho Manus.
He's Psycho Manus. Yeah, like he wasn't like, there's a point where you have to unplug your controller.
Yeah.
Wait for that, guys. You know?
Well, I think that's
But-
also comes with like not just sequels but reputation. When you're new, you surprise everyone.
Yeah.
Like same with Jordan Peele and Get Out. Like you shock everyone with like, oh, this is what I was expecting, and I did not like. But then when you get the next ones, now you have expectations.
Yeah.
And I think it's hard to remove that when you're as prolific as some of these people.
I just because he's mentioned things where it's like it's not normal. So
Yeah.
like death, he says is a part of the game.
Sure.
Expect it to happen. It's not a game over once you die.
Sometimes though, like you know how people are like, I wish I could not like experience that again for the first time, like that movie or that game or that surprise. I'm almost like I would like to experience this artist for the first time again, so that whatever the next game is like, I wonder what this. I have no idea what to expect or like something like that. So.
Weren't you playing Metal Gear Solid 1 and then 2 and then 3?
I started one. I did. The thing was, I just knew it was a good game.
Yeah.
And I knew the reasons I knew it was so well known were because of the cinematic qualities at such an early age of games as a whole. It's like PS1, right?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know about what he did with the game, like too much. I knew like Psycho Manus, like I saw like funny animations of like him saying something. I'm like, what does that mean? And now I'm thinking about it and like exactly what you're saying. I'm like, holy shit, like no one did that. Like no one ever thought like, oh, let's mess with the players like where they're plugging in shit or what's on their memory card or whatever. It's like that's like like deep. I don't know.
He did something crazy in 4. I don't want to talk about it because it's kind of spoilery, but it's like, whoa.
Yeah.
Actually, there is something weird in 4. But Death Stranding, 100 days, and it's like, I think it's crunch time, dude. He's still working hard on it, which kind of worries me.
Really? I saw photos of like the like screenshots and renders. I think if it slides, it'll slide like a week or two or a month. I think it'll still be 2019 if it comes out. But I mean, it's one of those creators. Same with like Breath of the Wild. It's like when it comes out, it's gonna be, it's this work of art. I don't think it's gonna be like, look at these fucking bugs, like shit. I think for me, Christopher Nolan has done a lot of crazy stuff, both like epic, small, independent, large franchise building. I think the one that resonated with me the most of his films, because many of his films kind of shake what I understood of films, or they mess with the film medium, much like what you mentioned with 2001: Space Odyssey. Like he takes the images and he takes stories and he's like, you fill this in, or challenges the viewer in a lot of ways. And I think one of the ones that resonated with me the most was The Prestige, like how the story is about these individuals, and then you're like, no, like the way the movie starts with like there's the presentation, there's the prestige, you know, there's the turn. He's like, they're like, this is a magic trick.
Mm-hmm.
And then the movie is set up like a magic trick as well. There's like the beginning, there's the show, there's the trick, and then there's the turn.
Prestige.
And there's like, yeah, the turn, and it's like no one expects the turn. And it's like the movie was that.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's really cool how you told a story, but it also fit the framework of
A magic.
yeah. And many directors and writers have done that, but I'm like, the way he did it just hit me so strongly. I was like, this is like, I love that movie so much.
My next one is a combo having to do with AI, essentially. And I'm pretty sure like these guys are not like defining this AI movement for movies and stuff like that. But the first movie is Her by Spike Jonze, 2013. And then the other one is Ex Machina, which came out 2016, I think. Let me see.
Okay.
2015 by Alex Garland. So both these had to deal with AI. With Her specifically, it is like an app thing or whatever.
It's like Siri.
Yeah, like a Siri or Alexa. But it's self-aware. It's constantly gaining knowledge. Dude ends up falling in love with this AI, but then she gets to the point where she just wants more knowledge. Like it's all she wants, you know, and it surpasses him in being able to, you know, keep conversations and stuff like that. And then in Ex Machina, it's very similar, where they're trying to do a Turing test, essentially, where if you can tell if this machine is you know, saying truthfully what it's saying, or if it's just like, you know, copying what it's seen online and stuff like that, to see if this robot actually has emotions.
That movie freaked me out.
Yeah,
Like whenever the site would like all of a sudden the alarm goes off and then that's when she like changes.
Yeah.
I was like, oh fuck, is this a horror movie?
But yeah, I mean, it raises questions where they're like, it's true, like an AI necessarily doesn't have to show emotion, you know, and it can.
It's like we have an expectation of what it means, of like what this is the definition of a human, and then you're like, wait, if we look at it from another perspective, they could be like, you're completely ignoring these other factors, or that's like not even relevant, or this or that.
So yeah, this is like a combo where they both deal with AI and a possibility that can happen, and I think we'll have more movies that deal with the same concept of AI getting out of hand, essentially, whether it be a good thing or a bad thing. But those two, I really enjoy those movies. Recommend them.
I thought you were going to bring up something else. It wasn't a good movie, according to the Metacritic. Bandersnatch.
Damn it.
Yeah,
That's like I feel like that's like,
choose your own adventure.
it challenges the viewer. Yeah, that's a good point. I was trying to think of ones that challenged you, but or innovated, but also I liked a lot, and it was okay. It was interesting, and it was kind of like, how does that work? But I'm like, I think I would actually say more like a Goosebumps story. Like that was interesting to me because it's like you're telling me that there's like so many different paths to this story and everything, and how you can choose. And just seeing it translated to the TV medium, I kind of like, if it'd be kind of cool. I wonder how the reception of that would have been had they not told people that's what it was and just let you experience it. And it just like, oh my god, have you seen this? Like, and it just takes off in that way, or doesn't.
do the Kojima way.
Let the work do the talking. Don't talk it up. Yeah, it's not a lot of, I don't know, companies take that route. They got to show all their cards. But next topic?
Sure.
Final thoughts, or do next topic?
No, we can do the next topic.
Okay, cool.
So that's mine.
Take it away.
And so there is an article from Kotaku. It was there was a streamer who, because of a glitch, it was revealed that she wasn't this young streamer that she was portraying. She was a 52-year-old. And yeah, so like the concept is she's been hiding her identity the whole time and just acting like she's a very young streamer. She was doing an interview with someone, and she had a graphic over her face, so you can only see the bottom part of her body. At some point, the graphic ended up getting removed from her stream, and you can see her face. And so,
Noob.
But what's crazy is the fact that this has happened. She was streaming for quite a while before this she was found out, and so I wanted to just talk about the possibility of future fake streamers, like people that can, like act like they're someone when they're not really that same person. And I mean, we have a lot of things going on. We have Deepfakes and stuff like that. So I feel like this possibility. She was using a filter to make her face look younger and like a different person, essentially. So what do you guys think that this is a possibility that we'll get streamers that are maybe open to the fact that they're not who they are, but like this is my online persona, or do you think this is just someone will get away with it as well for a longer period of time?
I think this is a good time to finally let the viewers know.
I'm a dinosaur.
I've been doing it wrong the whole time. Shit.
No, it makes me think. It breaks the mind and the boundary of what I thought a streamer is, and like I think about it, and I'm like, some of them are being themselves, and others put on a character. One that I can think of is like Dr. Disrespect. It's a character of his. He exaggerates a lot of things, and I'm sure some aspects of himself are in that character. But by and large, he's created this kind of personality. I think Maximilian Dude. It's a branding, I feel like in some vein, it's not a far stretch to say that she created a character.
Yeah.
And I think where it's jarring is that it's very. It was on the the thing. The aspect. I mean, I'm trying to phrase it, but think about it at the same time, like out loud. I feel like her youthfulness or her sexual appeal was what people were like shocked by.
Right.
Like a lot of viewers. I mean, there's a big thing in Twitch of like very sexy streamers, whether they be guy or girl.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of people that are going for like, oh, I'm chiseled, or oh, I'm showing a lot of cleavage, or whatever it may be. That's the appeal of their channel for whatever reason, whether they intend to or not.
Right.
And I think whether she knew or not, that was possibly part of the appeal of her, was like, ooh, I'm this like very cute like person, and people want to get to know me. Well, they got I have milestones they need to hit, and then it's that jarring moment of like, oh shit, you're not who you said you were. But I'm like, this isn't. At the same time, I'm like, this isn't new, because like, how many times have people played online and be like, I'm a girl elf character, and you're like, you could be like a 50-year-old like dude.
It does, like MMO wise, it happens quite often, because
even in a shooter, MMO, I think because of the social aspect of it, I would agree. But like that just started like, I can't, like, when I don't see you and I don't hear you, I don't know you. Mm-hmm. So now it's become like people that we want to watch, and I'm like, I think it's like. There was a question in that article of like whether this is okay or not, because it's like, oh, this was misleading. People were considering doing something, like whether she should be reprimanded or something. I'm like, I don't know how I feel about that, because I'm like, would you reprimand someone online like, unless they're preying on you, like in an inappropriate way? That's one thing, but
I think you put it in a good way. Like, it is a character, like.
But I think she should get in trouble because she was demanding money for a face reveal.
Yeah,
that's where
I could see that. Yeah.
It was like 100,000.
I didn't know what exactly the framework of that was like. Was it just because she was hiding it, or was it? Yeah. So she was like saying there was an incentive, like, I will show you me
if I get like 100,000 yuan.
And she wasn't going to show the real her.
It was an error that showed the real her. Yeah. Like it glitched.
Yeah, it glitched and removed the graphic.
But
so during the glitch, essentially the graphic removal, and it showed her face, she noticed that her viewer count was dropping because everyone was like, I'm not here for this chick. Yeah. So that's how she found out. She didn't realize until literally she noticed like her views.
I was reading like not then, but I guess it was after, like later, she got even more.
She got more famous.
Yeah. She, after that, she there was a lot of people talking mad shit to her. And then there's a lot of people that are defending her, like, no, like, let her do her thing. And that's where, she got more viewers, more subscribers, essentially. So, she got bigger from that event.
What do you guys think, like, to go along with what you're saying, like, do you think, like, if all of a sudden you're watching, like, a CDN the Third or a Shroud or whoever, and you're like, I don't know if that's really this person.
He's a face app. He's like a really old dude.
I do think we'll get people like that are characters like Dr. Disrespect, where we see like that person in a costume, and you can still tell that this guy is, a male or whatever. But I think we'll get people that are to the point where we don't know, what they're trying to portray. Like they'll act maybe the opposite gender, maybe something else, and they won't like reveal anything. Like they'll just that's the persona that they want, and they'll never have that, essentially.
I think it's okay as long as you don't
demand.
Ask for like mislead people like for money. Like it gets kind of like.
But that's the weird thing of it. It's like even if it's not for the donation, wouldn't they still be getting the money from the viewership and the subscriptions and everything?
I think it'll be on the rise because like as technology gets better, like
it's gonna be harder.
Do you remember that dude that faked that he was in a wheelchair? He got banned for fucking life
on
for Twitch. Yeah,
I think so.
So like he thought the stream was off, and you see him stand up from his wheelchair, and like people are like, "What the fuck, dude?" Like this guy faked his like handicapness.
Dude.
and he was getting money for it.
There's streamers I've seen where I don't know how they do it, but they put like an animal, like a CG animal thing
those.
over there.
Yeah.
So
it's like
it's
an avatar thing,
yeah.
and it detects your mouth motion.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
It moves when you talk.
So like, I mean, that already like obviously like
that
it's-
one, you know, it's a work of fiction. But I'm just saying, like,
it could get crazy where they can use real people.
Yeah,
Mm.
you just get a like, you know how they have the like the face swap essentially, where you take a picture of someone and it swaps the face. You've seen like there's been one with the dad and his kid,
Sure.
and the dad's like making the kid say funny stuff and whatever. I feel like it can get to that point for video. You just like slap on that like, here program use this face, and it slaps it onto you.
I could see them just full on becoming other people.
Yeah,
like
celebrities like.
Well,
streaming,
celebrities,
like-
that one I'm like worried about, like the copyright, like how would like I don't know how that works.
Well, the thing
But, like,
is, like,
false identity. Like I'm talking about like like a whole nother but unknown person. So
Yeah.
like if I'm doing a very exaggerated example, but like let's say someone's running the numbers and they're like the top streamers are primarily of a certain ethnicity or culture, whether they be Caucasian or something else. Like I'm not that. I will make my character that to maybe and see how that boosts or doesn't boost or affects my stream, like on a new channel.
Yeah.
And if it succeeds, this is a character you're putting on now, and it's like, what?
I think technology would be so good. Like we can have like a guest put on a Tom Hanks filter, and
someone
We'll
who
get
can
'em.
like voice act.
yeah, seriously, someone who could voice act it.
But this, like, the part of me that's like, I'm curious and I'm not really like pushing this away is that Twitch is a form of like entertainment and media, like television and radio, and people make characters for those all the time.
Yeah.
And this is a relatively new to society as a whole. It's on the rise. It's been doing like pulling the numbers higher than any of those other ones, and I think more and more people are paying attention. And I think because of that, people are now getting more creative with it, and they're doing things that like, oh, you can do that in this like your topic, like breaking the mold. Like you can do that with this medium. Let's see what happens. Like it might hit some rough patches. Some people might do it too far, or too little, or whatever. But
The thing I think that I'm uneasy about is the fact that like with Dr. Disrespect, you know he's a character. Like he doesn't hide anything from the beginning. With this one, there's the whole concept
know.
was I'm a young streamer. Like that's from the beginning. This is who I am. Like, and she even like on her Twitter had posts of just pictures of herself in like that young format.
Like to what point? Like if you let's say you know it's a character, but you don't know what the real person is.
Right.
Does it affect you?
I think
Does it affect me? Like, does it affect any of us? Like, if you knew...
I think if I knew it was a character, it would be fine. Like, if she was like, hey, guys, this isn't the real me. This is a character, by the way, guys. Just to give you a heads up.
But you never see the real her.
But I never see that. That's fine. Like,
It could have been a man.
Dr. Schmuck is very close to that. I mean, like...
But the thing is, it's literally just like a mustache. Like,
Yeah.
That's what I'm trying is, like, when it's something, like, you have no idea... But you're portraying as a whole nother,
no.
the realness.
If you come out forward, like in the beginning, like, hey, this is a character, this isn't the real me, but you just never show the real person, that's still fine with me. Like, but the thing is, she came out from the bat just going like, this is me. I'm this young streamer.
It's fine
That's
even
where it
if she
gets-
asked for money. Like,
that's a thing. But my other thing with that is when I'm trying to think it through as we're talking about this. But like when I watch streamers, a lot of times the ones I stick with are the ones that I'm like, I know your story. It's a personal story, or I've gotten to know you, and like it's not a character. It is a character, but at the same time, like a lot of the ones I like Trihex, or some of the other ones. I'm like, oh, I know what they're into. I know their passions. I know their troubles. I know their like their real life, the realness of things. And if I found out like that's all like an act, I'm like, does that take it away from me? Because at the same time, I'm like, why is it okay when I watch that on TV? But at this, I'm having this trouble like wrestling with that.
I think with me though is I have a preconception that like most of the people on stream, it's already an act. Even if it's like the real person, they're exerting more energy than they would necessarily ever do. Like you have to look positive on stream. Like if you're just there like, oh yeah, you're not going to get.
But you have to admit, like to a lot of people that they do support certain people. They do decide to tip people or subscribe to people because they're like, I know you now. Like I've watched you for 4 years, and I subscribe to you every month. Like, thanks for the 42 or whatever. Like, I've gotten to know you, and there's that connection, and because they're streaming for so long, you're like, it's like
I have a good example. What's his face?
Last Bosses.
No, the dude who does Hearthstone, Disguised Toast. He has this persona on stage. He's a very like outgoing guy. He's like talks to his fans, stuff like that. He has like a wireless lav mic or whatever.
That I know where you're going, but I disagree because it's the game.
You fill me in?
Go ahead.
It's the game. So he thought he had turned everything off. He went to the restroom and he's like, "Fuck, I gotta fucking start streaming again for these fucking kids or whatever."
But it was Pokemon. It was the Pokemon game. It was the game's fault. I don't think it was his passion. Like he was.
So he just didn't want to play that game.
Yeah, he just didn't want to play. I gotta play Pokemon for these kids. Fuck. Man.
But still, he's acting different on camera playing that game than he would normally. You know, like so. I still think that's an act. It's not the real him.
That's why I'm not sure how I feel because it is the same, but at the same time, if it's so immersive, I might disconnect. I'm like, how is that two different people? Like I'll treat it like the subconscious just like treats things a certain way. It's like I can't help it, but for some reason I am disassociating those two people, and I'm like that's you and that's someone else. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I don't know how I'm gonna be, but part of me is like, let's see where you take it. I'm curious.
I still see that like Twitch can be a place for entertainment, and a character is perfectly fine as long as you're upfront with it. But like with this chick, wasn't upfront the whole time. It was like, oh, it's just a girl that's streaming who decided to stream. And in that context, I don't think it's okay for her to ask for money. But if people knew it was a character and then she's like, I'll do a face reveal, I think it's perfectly fine to ask for money at that point. And the thing is, with that, it's not even sure, like, because she can be very non-descriptive and say, like, I'll do a face reveal. But then she reveals, like, the fake face that she's always had on. You know, like that character that she's had on as a joke. Be like, oh, you guys thought I was going to reveal my real face. No, I'm never going to do that, you know? That I still think that's fine as long as she says she's a character from the beginning. Like, that's something that's... I would consider that banter between fans, and obviously some fans would be like, I gave you $100. Like, how are you going to do that to me? It's kind of just how that is. I don't know.
I feel like, well, she doesn't stream on Twitch, but I feel like as technology gets better, like that's going to be part of TOS. You cannot use the likeness of like celebrities. For sure, celebrities. I don't know what else, but I feel like that's a future TOS thing. Like, if you get caught using someone else's face,
it's gonna suck for the people that look like a lot of actors.
Well,
like you know those people. Like they're not everyone, but all of a sudden some guy's like, "Why the fuck did I get?"
I look like Nicolas Cage, but fuck, I'm not Nicolas Cage.
The way I see it going around is something that happened with Ninja. Ninja streamed with Drake, but it was never Drake's face was never shown. It was just like, oh shit, that's his.
Oh,
that's his,
faking that you're streaming with someone.
You can get someone who can voice act. You can do something like that, and
breaking the mold.
But then you can change things. You can be like, I never said his name. I've never said it was like this person. Like everyone just assumed, and I was just like,
streaming with a famous rapper. Jay Pharoah, Jay-Z.
Exactly. Yeah, something like that. Like you just go around the mold and be like, I never said I had streamed with this person. Everyone just assumes so. And
people
then,
will always bend the rules.
Yeah, and then like it'll cause controvery, and that person will get
even more
huge
fame.
views. Yeah, exactly, and they'll just stay that like they'll stay big, and hopefully
I'm scared, dude.
Yeah, I'm gonna stream with Drake next week.
Me.
But like I don't know. I think this is something that'll always stay. Like especially with technology going bigger and bigger, we'll get other characters. The only thing I'm not okay with is, again, if they don't state off the bat that they're characters. That's something that I think has to be.
Did Dr. Disrespect on the get-go do that?
I don't think so. But
you could just tell. It's so
that's what I was going to say. Like, it is a little different.
When is it required then? I feel like people are going to find loopholes like you were saying about the...
Of the 1993, 1994 blockbuster. I was like, come on, dude.
And then obviously through his lifetime, we've known that is a character at this point,
Right.
Well, because of real life
green screens with the fake ass trophy room.
No, that stuff. Yeah, I mean, like
his real life, what he's done in real life, essentially. So because of that, we know the guy. His name is Guy.
Like if he's always acting like in public,
Guy
like his
Beam.
character.
Yeah.
Then how is it? A lot of Twitch viewers are kids. How are they supposed to know the difference? Like, is that
That's true.
praying? Like, I don't know.
There's a lot of like big streamers that I follow that don't ever use cameras.
Yeah.
Some are only voice.
I was thinking of that too.
Some don't even have voice. Like I watch a Matcha Hunter streamer called Kanta Per Me or
Yeah,
something like that. Never
Seen them.
never seen them, and they've never spoken. They always like they're on their chat.
Yeah.
Like they chat with everyone on like text based wise.
There's a Destiny guy that does only voice, and I was like, who are you? And it always jerked at me like.
And you probably if you
I found out who he was, and it didn't make a difference. I'm like, I saw you, but like it was weird that I needed to see you. Like I can.
Yeah, sometimes it's kind of weird when the face reveal. It's like, whoa, I did not expect that.
Yeah, like the voice doesn't match to you.
Or like Donkey, like I was like, whoa, I did not expect that.
Yeah, there's someone. Admiral Baru is someone. He very little streams with a camera, but he's actually done it recently, and I've seen who he is, and I mean, it still doesn't change. Like I still see him the way he was. So, but yeah, that's my topic.
Now I'm thinking.
You're thinking about streaming in the
No, I'm thinking like
Not
other
actual
mediums
gameplay.
that do this, like wrestling. I don't know if I didn't fully think this through yet, but like I'm thinking out loud. Wrestlers,
But a lot of them, I don't know about a lot of them.
they don't advertise that there's something else.
Yeah.
Like Stone Cold Steve Austin is Stone Cold Steve Austin.
But I feel like The Rock has had.
But like that's now. Like Undertaker, how many people know
Right.
the real Undertaker?
Right.
Like,
If you see just the regular version of him, you're like, you're not that person.
and would that like be? Would people be upset? They're like, this is you, and like when they pull, I don't know.
But I do
I
feel
don't-
like there's like already like an idea for these people. Like everyone knows that these are.
Or like, what about luchadors? They always have their masks on.
Yeah, but and that again, everyone knows. Like that's the idea of having the mask is they become something else, someone else. They're not the standard person. But a lot of them will take that fame out of the ring. So they're even without the mask, they're known like as the this specific luchador, and they'll be famous within a Mexican town or something like that.
Sure. I don't know. I'm gonna be thinking about this.
Slipknot,
What about them?
they
Because
wear
they
masks.
have
Oh.
We
Gorillas.
don't know what.
Anyway, I was just thinking out loud. I guess I can see your point in there. I'm just like, where does it stop? Like
yeah.
Twitch is where where this is happening. I wonder how much more it's gonna happen. But
Twitch is the word that it's that fine line where it's like there's
it's like the
people
Wild West.
Yeah.
That and YouTube. I feel like YouTube is the other place people can.
Yeah.
Who knows what the fuck?
You
the
see
next-
like the two extremes. You see someone like Dr. Disrespect, and then you'll see
Alina or Alita or whatever.
The article is referencing a Chinese
Yeah.
streaming service, which I don't know what it's called, but there's those two extremes where one of them is the whole time you assumed it's someone, and another one is just it's kind of like a character.
Fuck.
The future is bleak.
Speaking of the
we're in a
future.
simulation.
Speaking of simulations, my topic. Recently been just kind of going through a lot of different science fiction, which I'll get into in my segment on the chat part. But I kind of want to talk about if you could pick technology or aspects of science fiction or fantasy worlds of whatever kind, and take that and put it into our present day real world. What would it be and why? I'll start with one.
Go for it.
I think it'd be interesting if we had, maybe not a military, but like some sort of organized community or organization like alchemists, like Full Metal Alchemists. Like, it'd be scary. I'm not saying like, I'm just curious, like, what a world where alchemy is a thing and like I could study it and
Yeah.
like some people could fucking go crazy with it and do
With
some gnarly shit.
With
and
a
other-
dog?
Fuck. Never mind. I don't want to know. Yeah, I don't. Okay, never mind.
No, I think you're fine, dude. Because there's always like it's
People are
going to
use it for good and evil.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
think of the concept of guns. Like there's going to be people using it for good. There's going to be people using it for evil. Like there's just
Yeah.
no stopping it at that point. You're just adding more.
Now
chaos
I
to the
don't.
world.
I'm like,
You're like, you know what? Scratch this topic.
I was about to
let's
say
move on.
Pokemon. I'm like, now I'm afraid what sick fucks are gonna do with Pokemon.
There would be like
Ooh.
scientists. They'll be like, it's like hostile for Pokemon, dude. Like,
I don't feel good anymore. Okay, lightsabers. No, I was talking to a coworker about this. I was like, lightsabers. Like, no, dude. For every one cool dude using a lightsaber, there'll be like 900 amputees as a result of it.
I know, like you know how we have like 4th of July where people blow off their fingers. Every day you'll hear like someone's lost another arm because of lightsaber. Don't think of the negative. Think of the positive. What can we do? I can cut open a bank door with my lightsaber.
That was like good. I gotta take
Good
everything.
for me.
I gotta
I
take
get
everything
money.
out of my bank account now. Fuck.
Think of the
Invest in
positive.
Bitcoin.
I can rescue people by just sticking my.
All right, fine. We'll go with
lightsaber.
something else. We'll go with. You got the Harry Potter shirt on. I want to go with.
Are you
Magic.
really gonna change your-
Yeah, I'm changing my answer. Magic. From magic, like how Harry Potter is. So.
But then abracadabra, you're fucking dead.
No. Not everyone has it though. Like you either have it or you don't.
Leviosa or Leviosa?
Leviosa. Yeah, I'd have magic, and I'm wondering. I'm like, it'd be cool, but then the people that don't have it would start like, segregating and just like how.
But we'll have extremists, you know.
Yeah,
like-
no. That's what I'm saying is that they'll be like. I mean, it'd be very relevant to what we have now with like any group of people that are different, and some people are just like ignorant about
We'll
it.
have the Bloods and the Crips.
But I'm trying to think of like how that would impact things even more. It's like, okay, we're like.
People use it for good and evil.
Well, like more so in the intricacies of like, yeah, okay, an
I'll-
education system.
I'll
for
lump
it.
up yours with mine because mine
Okay.
was also magic from
Well-
an anime specifically.
Oh, magic.
Well, the anime is called Wise Man's Grandson,
Okay.
and the concept is, it's a boy that went from regular Earth into this new world, and he becomes reborn as a child. So like as he grows up, he has the knowledge that he had in the real world. So he knows how like, fire and combustion work and stuff like that. And in this world, they have magic, but they don't know how it works. So like when they like snap a finger, just like a fire comes out, But he knows how to combine it with oxygen and stuff like that. He can cause it to explode. So he starts becoming more powerful than most of the standard wizards in this world and stuff like that. So he's combining. Anyways, in that one too, like. The main concept is in the beginning is a lot of people are able to use magic and they use it as a means to help themselves out. Like if someone needs water, they can just conjure water instead of having to go to the, to a river and get a bucket of water and stuff like that. If someone needs to light a fire, they could just start a spark or whatever. So it helps them in everyday life essentially. So like I think that's something that they can do is they can create things that are easier for people in everyday living. That's one concept.
That's an interesting one.
Mine's from Back to the Future, and it's not hoverboards. So
Time
I've been
travel?
thinking about like climate change is a real fucking problem, and like they were talking about it at the Democratic debate today, and like how one guy was like, "It's too late, like we're too far gone." But I don't know how safe it is. Mr. Fusion from Back to the Future 2. You know how he put banana peel, a can, in a beer can, and it powered up the car. We need some renewable, clean energy, and what more than a thing that breaks down trash into nuclear power? I don't know how safe that is, but yeah.
That'd be pretty cool. Yeah, because it's like it's solving two problems:
Right.
all the waste that we have, and then
But I feel like the amount of waste you need to put in that transfers it into nuclear power.
there's
is
a lot
quite
of
bit.
waste.
No, right,
it's
right.
not a lot. He was able to
No,
generate
that's-
1.21 gigawatts with a banana peel, a
That's
can.
the concept of the movie, but I
Well,
feel
that's
like
what he's taking.
if we do, I guess you're right.
Checkmate.
1.21 gigawatts.
There was one that I was kind of thinking about recently, but I don't know how it would play out. Spice from the world of Dune. It allows for prolonged lifespans. It heals people.
Is it like a powder?
It's just a spice, yeah. It's like imagine like a spice. Like it gets refined. It's like oil in some ways.
Okay.
Like they refine it in different ways and stuff. But it's essential in every aspect of the universe, not just
Mhm.
a planet, but the universe. Like spaceships the health of other people, the food. The thing is, when you're exposed to it, you become addicted to it. So it's like, while it's so helpful in a lot of ways, it has addictive qualities in a lot of ways. I'm like
So-
addictive,
Like
if
heroin?
you don't have it, now you're like ill, and
Okay.
you're like it messes
Can you,
with you. But
can
you need it.
recover if you like long
I
enough?
don't quite know, but I don't think it is like a regular drug where you just go through withdrawals. It's like,
That's crazy.
fuck, I need it now.
Yeah.
But
So huge benefits.
it does
but then you
great
become
things.
reliant.
Yeah, and so I'm like, I don't know. That's crazy. I feel like it'd be crazy. It's like
So
we got to make sure we have the production for it, or I don't know.
You want to get crazy?
But like we have that now, where so much of our resources are dependent on certain fuels and stuff, and like it's hard for us to. We're trying to find alternatives, but it's like it's very difficult, and people are fighting it, and for better or worse.
I have kind of like two comboed again.
Sure.
Teleportation.
From like what?
So
Any
this is
specific-
where it's two. I feel like because it can be used evil if we do Dragon Ball Z teleportation, the instant transmission. Because you can travel anywhere you've been to before. So like people can just be like, I've been in someone's house, just like teleport in there, steal shit and leave, or something like that. So then the other teleportation would be like a teleport pod, or what is it, transpod, or what is it called from Star Trek?
Oh yeah,
The telepad,
Yeah.
or whatever it's called. That one would be
Beam me up.
specific areas. So then we would have like like a
stations or hubs. Or
yeah,
whatever.
maybe like a mobile fucking ambulance that teleports to like the actual hospital. So immediate like transition to someone that needs immediate assistance or whatever kind of thing. In those regards. Possibly like firefighters, like it teleports them to.
I don't know. I haven't watched enough of it yet, but I don't know if it's ever used. Like, how do you prevent something from teleporting something in a certain region? Like, what if someone
You teleport into a rock.
Well, that, but also like I want this bomb to teleport into that building without ever entering it.
Well, yeah. I'm obviously like, and I feel like that can happen.
I think that they have things that prevent that. Like anything in the premises cannot be teleported in or out of or
Yeah.
something, so it prevents that. But
that's what I'm saying, because it goes from pod to pod, or like from teleport
but no,
pad to telepad.
they can do stuff where they're on the surface of some
Oh,
planet.
that's
They're like,
right.
"Hey, we're ready to come up," and
Yeah.
they're like. "Brrr."
That's true. Oh, well,
But I'm pretty sure there's a measure to do it.
I would limit it to just like a pad to prevent stuff. So then like it's in, like official areas, and then there's certain links. So like, let's say I'm a billionaire and I can afford to buy like a pad. I can't just automatically like pad myself to a hospital. Like, there has to be like a specific link to it or whatever.
What if a fly is in the pod with you?
Well, then you're fucking turning.
You're
into a
Jeff
fly.
Goldblum.
You're regurgitating your food and sucking it back up.
Do you have any more?
This is probably going to happen. I don't know when. I'm going to say 20 years. Self-driving cars.
Deepfake.
I think it was from Demolition Man. I think they showed it, and iRobot had it. I just want to sleep in my car and have efficient like car travel, efficient traffic.
What's funny is you're dreaming about that.
traffic.
There are people that have already done that, dude. Even though they shouldn't be. There are people that have fallen asleep in their fucking Tesla.
Like self-driving car already there. Fuck, man.
I feel like though there could be
20 years?
problems. And
The thing, the biggest thing I've watched, I don't know what the counter argument is that in order for that to work, it needs every car to be that way.
Right.
Because once you introduce the human factor, it becomes like...
It's fine, guys. We've already had
I
porno
feel
in a
like-
self-driving car. We're fine.
I would make it like this, where if you have a self-driving car, your insurance goes down like fucking to like
Or-
$20 a month.
Or
like,
there's, how there's like a toll lane or like or something?
right,
Have
right.
it be
Right,
only
right,
for the
right,
self-driving cars
right.
and like you have to be like, it's sort of like when you're at a car wash, you have to put your car in this mode
Mhm.
and then it just takes it off.
Yeah, I'm down for that.
And it'd be underground tunnels. Well, no, because that's
Yeah.
that's
Elon
something that
Musk.
Elon Musk, he says, like, if we have
The
flying cars,
Hyperloop.
like if anything happens, if cars crash while they're flying, they have to come down and cause accidents and stuff. He's like, the most logical way is to, instead of having
The only thing that concerns me is where he's doing it. He's doing it in like California and Vegas,
Hell
there,
yeah. Where we're at.
where there's earthquakes.
That's fine with me.
Middle of the two.
Oh my god, dude.
Fuck. No.
You just, your self-driving
Just
cars
see
just driving.
the
I was
road
like,
just splitting.
Yeah,
in
that
half.
video you showed where it was like a top down, just like this is the. I was like, fuck me, like underground my ass.
What if you were just standing on that fault and it just, oh, he did a splits. Jean-Claude Van Damme.
the trucks or whatever.
Yeah.
Self-driving cars.
I think my last one. The sonic screwdriver? Because, like, that thing, I don't know if you guys have seen it.
I haven't.
It literally, like, whenever there's, like, a door locked or there's, like, a thing not working, like, he needs this thing. He's just, like, points up. All of a sudden, like, passcode's open. This TV's not tuned right. Fuck, fixed it.
You get every
I need to
channel.
hijack this car. Just points it at it. Light turns on, and I'm like, what doesn't that thing do? But I'm like, yeah, I don't know.
It doesn't unscrew screws.
That's probably it. The one weakness.
The one weakness, it doesn't actually work like a screwdriver.
But I'm wondering, like, how does that get abused? Like, a lot of these now, I'm just like, how do you fuck this up?
Right? I mean, in the concept of the show, there's only one in existence, I'm assuming.
I
And
mean,
he
I
has
would
it.
have it be. I wouldn't have one person have this thing.
But now it's going to go in the wrong hands. Now I'm going to be taking
Well, I want to
money
know
from
what
the
they can
bank.
do. I'm like, it's not too bad. They fucking opened a door.
A giant, 24, fucking deep door, and I just like, and then it just opens up for me, and
Yeah,
I
that's
take
true.
all the
Fuck.
money from the bank.
I don't know. I guess not. I would just use it for convenient things. It's like, God damn, my car's not starting.
I locked my keys in the car.
My phone's not charged.
Is that how that works?
I would just be a lazy piece of shit.
My safe driving car is out of power.
This level isn't loading. Stupid shit. Yeah. I don't know.
Oh my gosh. This one, I think you're gonna not be okay with this one, but
I'm surprised you haven't said one yet.
maybe
I
this
think
is the
I
one.
know. It's
This
probably
is-
mine.
This is probably the one. Maybe this is the one. Maybe the one I'm about to say is the one. It has to do with San Junipero.
No.
Oh, well, that's the one I'm bringing up.
No.
Is that the concept of putting your mind into the computer and living your life forever?
With the option to delete.
Yeah.
For me, with the option to delete
Yeah.
myself. But things could go wrong too.
How
which
can
sucks.
like you say option delete, but someone's like, yeah, we're gonna delete you. Shut them off.
Or backup.
Yeah,
Put you
or
somewhere else. And
put
then
them in the
delete.
isolation chamber?
There's a lot to it, because we don't know. Can you make duplicates of this person now? Like, can you make copies? Can there be two Daniels now that have been
There
saved
are.
on this hard
So
drive?
you're saying a copy of yourself is a real life human being then? That's what you're pretty much saying.
no. What you went with the copyright. I was more talking about just like, yeah, we'll delete you, and they really just turn me off or pause me or whatever. Like you have no control over
Yeah.
what you can do anymore because you're in the thing. Someone else is above you.
What's the movie? I think it might be Total Recall. No, it's one with Arnold Schwarzenegger, and he becomes a copy of himself.
Sixth day.
Yeah, Sixth Day, where
I'm
he
you.
goes home and he's like, "Ooh, "There's another version of me."
Yeah.
So who's the real who?
Well, the clone. I'm not going in that route.
I want to go in there.
Oh no, you went a different route. You went the San Junipero route. To counter yours, actually, there's something in Dune that happens, and it's like thousands of years before when the books take place, and it was this giant war, and what happened was they abolish thinking machines. They essentially anything
AI.
that is AI, any robot, anything that like can outthink a human, they're like that's illegal, and you're like that hinders us. And what they ended up doing, it took. I mean, I don't know how long it took, but this is thousands of years later. But they became schools of thought where a human became like this group of this community is like they're living computers essentially. Like they can think of outcomes essentially doing what a computer would have done, but
Yeah.
like having instead of relying and becoming complacent, they
adapted and became
growing
smart.
and like through other means, like they'll take the spice to enhance certain things and all these things, and they'll be like, I can think to some degree or more, and it's through completely removing. I'm like, that's an interesting future that's very different from a lot of other futuristic sci-fi where it's like, no, now AI does everything, or now computers are just like on autopilot, and this is like, no, there's absolutely no computers whatsoever.
Well,
but it's still very futuristic. Like
to go the opposite route of that is
Here,
like Idiocracy, where we get like, have you seen that movie?
yeah, how is that opposite?
Well, I feel like we get so reliant on technology that we stop learning ourselves, and then
Is
get to a
that
point.
why? I thought that one was just through the. Can you refresh my memory. I thought the reason that everyone became so stupid was the they show that the reproduction. Have you seen it too?
Yeah, I mean, like the movie, I guess has its concept, but I mean, I still think it's like we had to think less and less because of technology, essentially, and so now they don't even know. Like they're like, fucking electrolytes work for us. Why won't it work for plants? And so that's all the plants are dying because they feed fucking Gatorade to plants, essentially. You know, but like obviously that's an extreme, and it has its concept of like the reproduction thing. But I think.
But I don't get how that counters what I'm saying.
Well, the reproduction thing, I don't remember that part.
Because at the very beginning, they're like, here's John and Anna. Their IQ is each over 100.
Yeah.
But because they're thinking, like, this isn't a responsible way to reproduce and bring our child into this world during climate changes, they don't have children. Here's Cletus and Bethy Lee.
Yeah.
They fucking have 8 kids. Now imagine thousands of people in this same situation, and it's like slowly the world just got dumber and dumber because of all this, like, hillbilly breeding. Exaggerated. That's how I remember. Like that's how the world got to that point of
You're
like
right, yeah, I
NASCAR
remember
and Starbucks was like a sex shop and all this stuff. You got your degree at Costco, but I hope not for that one. I don't want that fucking feature. Brought to you by Carl's Jr.
Shit.
It's a good movie. It's funny and it's fucked up, but it's funny because like Fuddruckers over the years
It becomes
changes its name to Buttfuckers. It's like Fuddruckers, Fudnuckers, Fud Butt Fuck.
And
They
it
must have been
it's a
super
fancy
mad
restaurant,
at that.
right?
Huh?
They must have not got permission for that, or
No,
something.
it was.
Holy shit, dude!
I mean, they were
Yeah.
straight up like Mountain Dew, like all these, like they named a lot of stuff. I don't know. Indie film.
They got paid a lot.
Terry Crews is in it. He's president.
Yeah. I've seen
Camacho.
clips.
Yeah. President Camacho or whatever.
Good movie. Anyway, that's my topic. What have you guys been up to this week?
I watched Once Upon a Time in ... Hollywood.
Hollywood.
Hollywood by Quentin Tarantino.
What do you think?
I felt like there's a lot of character development, and I don't know, like it made time go by slow for me in that movie. Like
I looked at I haven't seen it yet. I'm gonna see it this weekend, but I looked at the runtime. 2 hours and 40 minutes
yeah.
Yep.
plus trailers.
Yeah.
Yep.
Fuck.
But yeah, like there's parts where I don't know, I just found it very slow, very tedious.
I think his last movie was pretty long too. The Hateful Eight. That was like 2.5 hours plus.
Yeah.
See, but
But I watched that at home.
what I recall, at least with that one, I did watch it in theaters, and I don't remember being like, you know, like
I
reminding
did.
myself of time.
There's an
during the movie.
intermission, I think.
Yeah, and the very beginning,
There's
the
a
whole
time.
like carriage ride thing, I was just like, we're still in the carriage ride.
That movie sucks.
Really?
I don't like it. I think that's his worst. You know, I was looking at top like Tarantino films. A lot of the list
Lower that.
That's the last
Really?
place. Hateful Eight. There's one scene that's really good, but I just didn't like it.
I like because I listened to him talk about it, and I don't know if this impacted me better or worse. The thing I like is how he was like, I structured it like if I wanted to make one of my movies into a theater performance, this would be the easiest one to do. Like
Act
everything
one,
could
act
be
two.
like, I could have this go around and all this stuff. And I'm like starting to think about, I'm like, I could see that. That was one of those movies where I didn't care as much for the plot, but I liked the characters. I liked Kurt Russell's character. I liked all these other characters. They were interesting people, and
See, for me, it's the opposite. Like, I didn't feel like I
For
had.
Hateful Eight?
Yeah, the Hateful Eight. I didn't feel like I was worried about time. Like, it didn't, I felt like it was just enough time. But this one, though, like, the characters, I don't know. Like, there was just something about it where I was like, can we move on to
Did you like the movie?
Overall, I liked it.
Right.
There's, like, pretty much, like, the second half of the film is fantastic.
The last 30 minutes.
Yeah, like, I mean, like, from that point, like, it keeps ramping up, and then there's a point where it's just like it just drops straight down, and then there's also a scene like somewhere in the middle of the movie where it's just there's stuff happening and like everyone's kind of like tensed up in the movie, and you're just like, oh shit,
he can make a horror film. That I was fucking. I've never felt that tense in a long time. The beginning scene of Inglourious Bastards, where it's like, oh,
the milk.
Like that, I felt like that, dude. I was just like, holy
God, that guy's expression. When I remember the milk scene, the farmer guy was just like, I'm like, I don't know how to read you. It was like the Howl. Like, I don't know how to read that. Yeah. Okay, that's interesting. I'm excited to see this. So.
Yeah. But yeah, other than that, I enjoyed it. I think after finishing the movie, I still didn't understand why there was so much character development. I don't know.
It's
That's just
Tarantino.
me. Yeah.
dialogue and character development.
He'll have characters talk about shit. I'm like, that had nothing to do with anything.
You know, a Whopper is Royale with cheese in France.
Yeah, with like Pulp Fiction, I mean, I don't know. It matched and blended well. It didn't feel like it was extended. For this one, for some reason,
I think maybe my guess, Pulp Fiction was so many smaller stories that it segments.
Yeah.
Death Proof was the one that I was like, they're talking a lot about stuff. I'm like, why are you talking about this? But I'm like, that's your style.
Yeah.
I either like it or I don't. And some days I'm not in the mood for it. Other days I'm like, no, I could just sit here and listen to these people talk about nachos or some random shit.
Nacho cheese.
Did you do anything else?
I've been watching Evangelion. So I'm on episode 8 or 9, I believe.
How many angels? 5?
So far that I've seen, 1.
Pyramid's the first one. That square thing.
Oh, that's the first one? No,
That's not the first
there
one.
was
No,
one
it's
that came out before.
No,
so
the
there's
first-
one where
Oh, no. The
this
first
guy's
one
the
is...
first one.
Yeah. Israel, I
There's
think.
the first one where he
name's
blacks out,
Yeah,
and then he
Israel.
wakes up and he's
And
like,
he's,
"You
eating
fucking
it.
killed it,
He's like
dude."
eating it.
Yeah. And then the second one is this whip arm guy.
Oh, okay.
Let me see the whip arm guy.
It's a
I
silhouette.
remember this whip on guy.
No,
The third one is the pyramid thing.
I've already seen the pyramid one because that one has
That
like,
one literally
crazy
just
defenses.
happened.
The
Yeah.
sniper.
Yeah. So that's the one I just finished.
And then this thing's is the next one. This is the one
Oh,
I'm on.
that's
This
not-
is the one I'm on right now.
That's not technically an angel though.
Okay, I don't know that. I haven't watched it yet, but
After seeing that episode, I would say that's not an angel.
Okay.
But I could be wrong
so
because maybe future it'll tell you that they are technically. But so yeah, I guess I'm an episode ahead of you apparently. Watching that, and then I'm watching on Netflix. There's another anime called Kataguri.
Okay.
I don't know. It's about gambling.
okay.
And the whole concept is like there's a transfer student to a new school and everything's dealt with gambling. Like if you want to be like student council president, you can gamble the student council president and gamble like the rights to be the president or whatever. But obviously the way that they write it, it's like that person is in legitimately like a genius and you like no one can beat the student council president. So the game just like ramps itself up by like this person beating like all the other councils in that area, and then like everyone's like, oh my god, this newcomer is the best, but it gets insane.
You mentioned gambling. Have you ever seen an anime called Kaiji?
I don't think so.
This kid.
No.
My friend showed me this fucking anime. It's like it's all gambling, but it's like all high stakes. Like these people are like at the lowest point in their lives, and they go on this boat like I got nothing else to live for,
Yeah.
and they're like, you will either win or die or like live your life in servitude or some shit. And this guy's like, I failed everything in my life, and he's like, I will somehow figure out how to like, and he's just desperate, and then like through desperation and through like quick thinking, he starts like figuring things out, and you're like, fuck. It's like 2 seasons, but like I watched it. One of my favorite intro songs of an anime it's like good rock.
Yeah.
I'm like, It's really cool.
Yeah, this one has similar concepts. If like you technically lose everything, you can continue to gamble and put yourself into debt so you can gamble money you don't have, and you'll be like, I'll pay you back. But if you get to a certain like debt ratio, you become a house pet. You become so low that you're no longer a human to anyone in the school, and they treat you like shit. And males are called Fidos, and females are called Mittens if they become a house pet, essentially.
What's this thing called?
Kataguri. I'll have to send it to you, but let me see if I can find it on Netflix real quick. If I get it real fast. For some reason, I do feel like it's not going to be your style, though. Even though you like the other one that's gambling.
Karakuri?
Let me see here. It should be one of my first ones here. Kakeguri.
What is it?
Kakeguri. This is that first one.
Okay. I like the animation style.
Yeah.
That's usually the first thing that I don't like about it. Like, if I see an animation style, I don't like going, this could be the greatest anime of all. Code Geass, I hate the animation style.
Oh, yeah. I don't know if I've seen that one.
It's regarded as one of the best animes ever.
Oh, shit.
And I'm like, I watched all of it, and I did not like it.
I was watching Evangelion, and then I was like, I need to like kind of take a small break, and I started watching this one too. So I'm like neck and neck with both of them right now.
Cool. You play anything?
Surprisingly, no.
Yeah, call them up.
I'm coming
No
back
game
to
is
it.
better than a game.
August 28 or whatever. I don't know when. Classic's coming back.
I talked to some guy at Barnes, and like they were like, "Oh, we'll put this aside for you. What's the name?" I'm like, "KJ," and he's like this one raid boss, and I'm like, "What?" He's like, "Oh, never mind. It's a WoW thing." I'm
It's
like,
KT Kel'Thuzad though.
and he was like, "Well, there was this one guy, one girl from an early expansion, and people would call her KJ." And I'm like, I gotta remember that so I could tell the two good people I know that play WoW. And I told my coworker, my
And
buddy,
he knew?
and he knew. He's like, "Yeah, I know that one."
I don't know.
It's like a mermaid thing. Like,
nope.
I
World of Warcraft, though, right?
Will Smith?
I can just search it. While Jang explains what
yeah.
he's done.
What have you been up to, Jane?
I saw Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Best movie of 2019. Sorry, Toy Story 4.
Very strong statements.
Fuck, man.
Better
That
than
shit was...
Shazam?
Yes.
I'm kidding. Yeah.
Was that 2019?
I don't know.
Dude, it's fucking amazing, dude. And after I watched it, I was like, damn, I think this is Tarantino's best film. Thought about it some more. It's like his third best film.
What are your
first
for
is
you?
Pulp Fiction.
Really?
That's like fucking almost near perfection. Second is Django, and then third is this one.
Interesting.
Django is because it's like long to get into, but it's more in Christoph Waltz's character development than anything else. I feel like knowing the history of the Manson murders and Roman Polanski helped me appreciate the film a lot more. I'm just like, I feel like you need to know, you should read up on the Tate murders, because that scene that he was talking about, it really fucking freaked me the fuck out, dude.
I know nothing of this stuff, so I kind of want to go in not knowing.
You should read the Tate murders.
Okay, I'll give you an example. There was two historical events that I've seen a show and a movie of. One was the Tanya Harding, and the other one was the O.J. Simpson trial. I know the verdict of the O.J. Simpson trial. I didn't know how things panned out. I knew the glove thing. That's about it. That's literally all I knew.
He's on Twitter now. So.
Yeah, he was on Borat's show, the America thing. Anyway, I didn't know how everything panned out, how the jury was, all this other stuff, and to me, not knowing made me I want to see how this pans out. And then afterwards, I was reading up the real events and comparing. I'm like, okay, this was real. This was, but I'm I've talked to my folks and I was trying to get them to watch it, and they're like, no, I already know how it panned out and stuff. And they were kind of like, there's no suspense for them. So I'm not saying I that's how it's going to be, but I'm worried that could happen with me. Is that it takes some of the suspense away?
I think people going into it without knowing that Tate murder, seeing that scene, they wouldn't feel that person is in danger. Like knowing the Tate murders, I'm like, okay, this fucking person is in fucking danger right now.
So just to put it into context, I didn't know anything watching this movie. I was still in suspense during these scenes, and then I went to work the following day, talked to a coworker, and he was like, dude, did you know that this? I was like, oh fuck, that makes that scene way more tense. But obviously, like I'd already seen it, but like it did feel like still like without knowing anything about it, I still was like, this is an intense scene, which is that scene I'm referring to in the middle of the movie.
I don't know. I feel like if you didn't know about it, didn't know anything about Charles Manson, you'd be like, oh,
I think
this
you're fine
person's
with that
perfectly
movie.
safe. Like,
Well, I didn't know even like you guys tell me more than I knew because I didn't know anything. I knew Charles Manson shows up. That's all I knew.
Yeah.
I'm trying to stay more out of it. Like most of it, I realized though. Like I was like my girlfriend was like talking about. She's like, "What's this movie about?" I'm like, "Honest to God, I have no idea." And I was like, you know what? It's kind of refreshing because so many movie trailers beat you over the head with like what
Yeah.
the movie's about. What's this? What's that? What's that? I'm like, all I got from the trailer was there's a friendship between this actor and a stuntman.
Mhm.
And some charisma and some groovy music, and I'm like, and I know Tarantino, and like that's all I need to know.
There's
Like,
groovy music. That's all you need to know.
dude, I just find it hilarious that that's his stuntman. Like, stuntmen are supposed to look similar. They look that's like the biggest running joke when I was watching this whole film. Like, he looks fucking nothing like him. Like the bone structure, the facial structure. Like, this is hilarious. I was amazed, but dude, Tarantino should just win an Oscar for transforming LA to 1960. I'm like looking at these shots, and he's filming in LA. Like, you see like the landscape. I'm like, the freeways have 1960s cars. I'm like, he closed this freeway down and had all these cars in 1960s. I'm just like fucking amazed, dude. I mean, certain locations have not changed. Like, they look, the design is the same.
Sure.
It's still 1960s. But I was just like, this guy transformed LA into 1960s. I was like, this is fucking amazing, dude. It's fucking amazing. He should win an Oscar just for doing that.
what category would that be?
Fucking
Transforming
time
LA.
travel, dude. Shit, dude. I don't know.
New category.
Shit,
Time
dude.
travel.
Popular vote and time travel.
And Brad Pitt deserves. I don't know if he's won an Oscar. He deserves an Oscar.
That dude looks fucking good,
This
dude.
dude,
That's all I
dude.
gotta say.
So there's
Does
controversy.
he eat?
Hmm?
Does he eat in this movie?
No.
Yeah.
Wait, does he? They're at a restaurant.
The reason I ask is like 9 out of 10 Brad Pitt movies, he's always eating something. Like I always think of the ocean movies. Every scene in the ocean movies, he's just like sitting there like.
No, I wouldn't say every scene, but he does eat.
And but the other thing is Tarantino always has at least one scene where someone's eating something, and it always looks fucking good. Like every time.
I can't recall.
Like the one I wasn't sure about was Django, and when Christoph Waltz is pouring the beer, I'm like, I've never been so thirsty in my life.
There is a scene. There is a scene
Okay.
that like they're eating steak essentially.
Okay.
So
Cool.
I forgot, there was one more thing I wanted to mention. Oh, there's like controversy about the portrayal of Bruce Lee. I just judging it from my perspective, like I always think about intention and his intent. I don't think it's Quentin's intention to like mock things. He's always doing stuff to pay homage. So the way I take it is he was paying homage. The whole Bruce Lee scene, that was like big homage to Bruce Lee. But I've also heard stories where Bruce Lee was a cocky dude. I've also heard stories where he's humble. So it's like I'm torn. But oh, well, do you know who Cassius Clay is? See, there's a lot of like name drops. So Cassius Clay is Muhammad Ali.
Yeah.
So like Bruce Lee he's well, I'm not gonna spoil, but in real life,
like you're spoiling.
oh yeah, no. In real life, he said if he fought Muhammad Ali, he would die. He would get killed by Muhammad Ali. I'll just say that. In a movie,
he said that in real life.
yeah, in
Okay.
real life.
Okay.
Fucking dude, 2 hours and I didn't feel like it was long. And fuck, dude, like the ending was fucking good, dude.
Okay.
Roman Polanski's a piece of shit.
Oh, there's like mid-credit scenes, by the way.
Mid credit
Oh yeah,
or
there's-
end credit?
There's a mid.
I didn't say till the end. I just
mid-
You don't do that.
There's a mid credit scene.
Okay.
He's making his own cinematic universe.
I feel like I know everything of this.
You don't. If you don't know the Tate murders,
You watch it with Katie. He's like, and then this is gonna happen right here, and then this is gonna happen right here.
I'm just telling you, dude. Okay, so that last 30 minutes,
I don't want to know anymore.
dude.
Stop.
He's just like red line times 10, dude.
You're hyping it up. The hype is a dangerous creature.
So you're high, dude. What about that?
You're high?
For the glory of mankind. You
Well,
want to talk about
yeah,
that too?
Near. I went back to Fortnite a little bit.
Yeah.
I saw. I might.
I look at like Last bosses playing Near Automata.
But, no.
Click
But
it.
no. But what's the title? What's the title?
I'm telling you, on the side tab where it's like a player in a game, the game was Near Automata. Then I read the title. I'm
But,
like,
I mean,
Fortnite.
if you look at Twitch, it tells you the title and the game.
If you look at the sidebar,
It only tells you the game.
just
But what was the title though?
Fortnite first, then Near.
yeah. While he's playing Fortnite, it says Near playing Near.
So it's not misleading.
Cuphead's too easy.
But you wanted to bring something up about Near Automata. When we were talking about it in the beginning, you're like, "Oh, I'll bring that up."
Shit, I don't remember. I don't remember.
I tried helping. I guess I failed.
I might come back to Fortnite, but
Yeah?
fuck, it's rough.
Are you playing
man.
the new season or?
It hasn't come out yet. It comes
Oh.
out tonight at midnight.
The replayability is what he was talking about. Being able to replay the game.
Playthrough?
26 endings, but you said that didn't matter, but it was something else.
Damn it.
You can
I
buy
tried.
trophies?
Yeah,
That's
The
thing.
chip thing. You almost got tricked by
I almost
a viewer.
self-destructed. No, I already mentioned it. Yeah, I'm playing Near and bought 2 games that I won't play for a long time. Fire Emblem and Dragon Quest Builders, but who made good use of the vouchers, which ends tonight.
So you bought 2. What's the other 2 games you got?
Super Mario Maker and fuck, now I can't remember the other one.
Damn, a game you're never gonna play, apparently.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. What was the other one?
I need to pick that up tonight. I'm gonna forget though, so that's cool.
So what, you're saving $20?
Yeah, you're saving
20
$20.
bucks.
So you're buying, because each game is $60. It's $120.
You're getting it for
But
100?
you're buying a voucher for 100, which lets you buy the.
Well,
It's like you're
$60
making
games.
money.
$5 too. You get 5 gold coins when you buy 2 games.
Oh.
500 gold coins.
Promo code Last Bosses.
At the last one.
Playing Wargroove a little bit because like I'm like, dude, I have all these games and
Yeah.
like Fire Emblem came out. I was like, you know what? I really never played Wargroove and chipping away at Wargroove a little bit.
Little pickaxe. You're like in the cave.
You liking it?
Floor 120.
I mean, it's cool. I mean, I'm a perfectionist, so I'm trying to S rank everything. I'm like, you know what? Let's just play through it and we'll S rank it when we
Are you doing it on stream or off?
off stream.
I'm afraid with you playing Fire Emblem. Then I read someone was trying to like make everyone happy in their school,
Oh my
and
god!
it's like super tedious.
I'm
for
not
them.
even bothered. Yeah. I'm like, I picked, so I got to the point where I picked my class
Mhm.
and I was like, which class has already the most people that I kind of want?
Slytherin.
And Hufflepuff. And like now I can just pick and choose the ones I really want, and then
Mhm.
I'm like, if I get the others, I get the others. If not, then I'm not even like I don't
So
want
you
to
just
stress it.
focus on the ones you want, and then if other people.
Yeah, and
come
I'm not
in-
gonna be like 100% like get.
Gotcha.
I don't even know if it's possible to get everyone, but I'm like, yeah. So you're right.
And last thing, I filmed something on Sunday.
Yeah.
My character died on episode 1. They're on episode 4 or 5.
Of what?
It's my anime life.
He's a movie star, dude.
No, I'm not a movie star, but I hang out with actors. But
Is,
And
it
he
different
acted
different
in-
breed.
is this something that people can watch? Or?
Yeah, it's on YouTube. It's called My Anime Life by Awkward Weirdo. That's his YouTube channel. But this episode is solely about me. And
I went to the movie
oh yeah, he went to a premiere.
premiere.
So
And
it's only about you?
well, it's like primarily focused on me, and fuck, it's exhausting. I don't know
Why?
like how actors do it because like there's many takes involved, and
Okay.
I'm just not used to that. My style is like, hey, okay, we got one shot, we're going to the next, and not even like one shot, like one angle. Okay, this one we got to do one shot. Okay, we got to do it like 9 more
Same
times.
shot, yeah, in different
I'm just like, oh my god, and like I'm giving like 100% for each time, like yelling and like falling down, and like I'm like it's hot outside. I mean,
Yeah,
fucking
it was like a heat wave.
this fucking wig and beard, and just like it's exhausting. And this weekend's the last shoot days, and we did the hard part, so I like the physical stuff. So I'm done, dude.
You're not gonna. Do you see yourself doing more sort of?
I'm down. I'm down. It's fun. It's seeing the end product is like pretty dope because it's animated. There's like animation in it,
Oh,
and yeah, it's cool. It's worth it. I mean, I think it's gonna be pretty good.
cool.
So, beard.
You reading anything?
Dang, reading is on the hiatus, dude.
Happy
Soon.
birthday, Harry.
Because reading's too easy,
Happy
dude.
birthday, Harry and J.K. Rowling.
When they said like it's Harry's birthday, I'm like, what the fuck? This book didn't come out in the 80s.
Harry's gay now. Happy birthday.
Anything else?
That's it.
For me, what happened? I fucking forgot. I played a lot of Marvel Ultimate Alliance. That game's fun. Definitely, like I said last week, and Jang, you were mentioning too, way more fun when you're playing with friends.
There's this Inhuman stage.
I haven't got there.
Oh, fuck. Never mind then.
I'm stuck at fucking Dormammu.
Oof.
He can suck a dick. Like,
You need Doctor Strange.
he is Doctor Strange. He's possessed Doctor Strange, and he just fucks you, like, repeatedly. Like, you cannot get out of this stun lock. He just spams, like, 8 energy balls at you, and I'm, like, we're all of a comparable level that is either at or above it. And he's just like, fuck you. Just like stun, hit, and we're all dead. And I find out, I just realized I'm like, why can't I stop? Like, is it a glitch that I can't revive you anymore? And then I realized there's a number above the right. There's just so much on the screen that you don't even see this number. The number, it tells you how many revives you get. I'm just like, fucking, I can't see anything on this screen.
I just remembered. It's a near automata question. Okay. When you do the next playthrough, is it a new game plus or no?
No.
So when you do the next game, let's say I just played the main story and did not do the side quest. Or what if I did some of the side quests? Are those side quests still like I had to redo them?
No.
Well, so once you do them, you're done with the side quests?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, I guess what you would say is like in the next gameplay, those wouldn't even come up anymore, whether you did them or not. Like, it just wouldn't show up.
Or some cases, you'll be like, wait, this is a new side quest. He's like, this isn't the other side quest. But then you're playing it, and you realize things that are familiar.
Because I'm doing side quests right now.
Yeah.
And
I'll say this as well. When you finish all the the ones that are expected of you to finish, the playthroughs or whatever, there is a way to be like, go back to this point. It's like chapter select in some way. I'm trying not to say too much, but you can go back to certain points and be like, all right, let me play at this point and have these side quests available to me or something.
Spoilers: the game has chapters.
Also,
well, no, it's like a save point. Almost.
Also, like the enemies are like double my level. Like, should I be leveling up?
I don't know. Like,
I'm like level 13. They're like 25. Like normal enemies that out in the battlefield.
Yeah, I think you should be either.
You should just get good.
I mean, I'm not dying.
So okay, that's good. For me, the thing that was I think I was of level, but the thing I wasn't doing damage or I was like something, and I'm like, oh, there's chips that I have, and I just automatically put in all the chips.
Are you killing animals? I don't think you're killing enough animals.
Yeah, they're
I think
extinct.
that's the problem.
They're fucking extinct. They're fucking extinct right now.
Wait for a second playthrough. They come back. Your decisions have an impact.
No, but I did. I went back to the naked guy place, and those guys are level 38 and fucking me up. I'm like, okay, I'm not supposed to be here. I'm like, I'm level 12. These are level 38. I'm going back, dude.
Do you have does it telling you where to go? There should be a cursor.
Yeah. I'm not doing the main quest yet. I'm just doing.
I think that might be why you're seeing level 30 stuff, because it's like, hey, come back here if you want higher level stuff.
Because it's open world, so you can do one things, level up, and then come back
and repeat that stuff. I wouldn't stress the side quests too much.
You're siding too much, dude.
No,
I'm just do what you want to do. Kill as many animals.
Yeah, just kill those little 30
They're dead. They're all dead, though. I am the monster hunter.
I am the monster.
Okay. I'm curious what happens when you go forward. Yeah, so I'm playing Marvel Ultimate Alliance. I took a break because I was like, okay, we're playing this. Fuck Dormammu. But I'm playing with my friends now, and I'm like, okay, we're gonna continue the campaign together. So I'm like, I kind of was itching to play some more, and I looked at like the other stuff, and it's like a challenge mode. So what it'll be like is do this level, but do it in under 2 minutes. And oh, by the way, you hit harder, but so do they. So everything hurts, and you're just like, okay, fuck. It's hard single player, but it's still fun and challenging.
Who are you maining?
I'm the Hulk. I tried Ghost Rider. I like Ghost Rider, but I prefer the Hulk. The Hulk is just straightforward.
Too bad he can't be Dormammu.
I want to be Cyclops, but I can't get him until the end of August.
Is that like
he's
if I
free.
just buy the game, it's free? All add-on is free?
No, there is DLC packs for like Moon Knight, Blade, Punisher, and a few other characters. But there are also like, oh, by the way, Colossus and Cyclops will be free editions in August. And there's already a huge roster, tons of costumes, tons of abilities. It's fun. Then I started Fire Emblem. I'm still in the school stuff. I took a lot of time picking a house. I picked the Black Eagles, the girl that leads. There's like a yellow
Slytherin?
guy. How is he? Is that what everyone's called him?
No, I'm just checking because it's called the Three Houses.
Well, there's
so
blue,
it's like-
yellow, black, right?
Blue, yellow, red.
Blue, yellow, red.
It's red, black.
And that's the one you chose, the red black one.
This one, yeah. So there's yellow.
Mm-hmm. That's Hufflepuff.
There's
That's
this guy,
Gryffindor.
Blue's
and
Ravenclaw.
then there's this one.
And that's Slytherin.
That's Gryffindor.
So you're a murderer.
Horny cop murder.
Slytherin.
The thing is, she's got the most hotties in her group, and magic. And I was like, I want to play with
I wanna
magic,
go magic.
and there's a lot of hotties here. So
Now your magic one makes sense. Your option to do magic.
not the horny. I'll bring the horny over. So I played a little bit of it. I missed the tactics stuff. It really makes like looking at how tactics games used to be and how much this has done visually. I'm like, this is really cool. Like they took the time to make the visual.
You
like,
can never go back to tactics.
No, I can. I long for it. So played that. Destiny. There's like a celebration event going on, so I'm back on that grind. It's fun. I usually like that's when I want to watch my shows.
Mm-hmm.
What else? I dressed up in steampunk last weekend.
And went back to the rave thing again.
No. This time I went to the pageant of the Masters again for the second time. And that was an eventful night. Because they allow you to bring alcohol of your own.
Ooh.
And, of course, brought too much.
Your glasses was full of alcohol.
I was like, I think that's it.
Pokemon Go.
Oh, yeah, Pokemon Go. Team Rocket, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
That's a new thing. They invade Pokestops now, so you have the option of battling them.
I heard it's really rare, though.
No. It started really rare.
Oh, okay.
And that's the interesting thing. They started it out when like Team Rocket's here, and people are like, what? Oh my God, where are they? I'm like, oh my God, bro, it's like nowhere. What the fuck? And then their Twitter account was like, they seem to have disappeared. I wonder what happened. Literally the next day, they're fucking everywhere. They're like, that was a scouting mission. They're invading now. And then they were like, the next day, they're like, they're doing for 1 hour in each time zone. Every Pokestop became a Team Rocket stop.
Nice.
So they're making this really fun like role playing thing of like Team Rocket's just invading.
Yeah.
And what happens is when you beat a person in Team Rocket, you get an option to catch a shadow or like possessed Pokemon, and you could choose to keep them that way or purify them. They look cool. They've got like this glow about them that's kind of cool.
So you got one of each.
So far, I've got like a few, but they keep adding more, and there's some that I don't have yet. I'm like, God, I gotta find them. And I actually got in a fucking internet argument on the internet about this something. I'm like, every time I'm like, I'm not gonna argue with people on the internet, and I'm like, I'm arguing with someone on the internet. What the fuck? They're added this stuff, and I'm like, I'm already like hurting on space, like storage space.
Yeah.
And I'm like, they keep on their Twitter. They would be like, "Oh, this. What do you guys think of this new edition?" I'm like, "I'd love an additional storage space," and it's a common thing. There's a good amount of the community that's like, we would love some additional storage space or another approach to storage.
You can buy more storage space, but is there a limit?
I maxed it out.
Okay, there's a limit.
There is a max,
Okay.
and I hate that. That's the thing that I'm like. Pokemon main games have had storage issues. They've had boxes, but even when those fill up, there's a cloud storage that they created. And I think that this game is at a point where it could use an overhaul of some sort of that, like a storage solution. But when I posted that, random people, like 2 or 3 random people started being like, why don't you delete your shit, dude? Like, you don't need 2,000 Pokemon. I'm like, the games catch them all. Like, what? The game's about collecting. And why is my feedback?
You know what they were? They were like,
We got him, boys.
Delete your shit, man.
And I was civil, but I was like, I'm just giving feedback. If you don't agree with it, that's fine. Like, you got your feedback. Hopefully they listen to my feedback. But hey, great on you. And then another person, some random other person chimed in, and I see them liking each other. So I'm like, these fucking
Tag team.
But then what was funny
Circle
was like a day or two later they increased the storage capacity, and I replied to that Pokemon Go comment, and one person had supported my side, supported me on this. I'm like, this person followed me. They were with me. I was like, all right, I won the day.
Go Team Powerpuff.
Stupid. I'm like, why did I get so? It didn't really rile me up. It was just like, God, this is irritating. I put my phone down. I'm like, fucking stupid.
So you're gonna start deleting your shit? Is what you're telling me?
I just maxed it. I
Never.
already was like, whatever the max is. I'm like, I have it.
Never argue on the internet. Never.
I was bored.
Sometimes it can't be helped, man. You know, you didn't want to start it, but you end it.
Should put a teabag gif in it. Start a war.
Little teabag emote. Hey, that's an emote you should add to your
Teabag?
a little teabag
Why?
for teabagging.
I don't teabag.
It's fine.
You can
You don't
now?
have to, but
Merch.
they can fucking teabag you though.
I should do the upskirt and then my nose bleeding. Like,
TOS. TOS should be your thing.
yeah.
In red, TOS.
Yeah. Guys, where can people find you guys?
They can find me at the Philia everywhere, but not really.
At the last bosses everywhere.
At Kujo Prime for me. You find us all at the Weekly DLC. Let us know what you think of these topics. If you have any ideas for topics, if you have any thoughts in general, we'd love to hear from you. If you have time, maybe leave us a review somewhere. That'd be cool. We'd really appreciate it.
Or don't.
Or don't. That's his feedback, not mine.
I'm just leaving some feedback.
Yeah. Thank you for enjoying this episode. And until next time, we'll...
DLC.
You later.